We are back again with another episode of the Brighton Career Mode here on FC24, episode 2 of season 4. We are already 4 seasons into this career mode. It's been an absolutely incredible time. As you can see here, we are in the summer transfer window still. We just got to our first Premier League game of the season, an away game against Arsenal at the Emirates, a home game against Newcastle, and then an away game against Middlesbrough that we will be playing all three of those games in this episode at least. We might be playing the Brentford game as well in next month, and then we're going to get through at least this transfer window as well. Of course, last episode we got a win in the FA Community Shield over Arsenal. We won the FA Cup last year and they won the league last year, so 2-0 win over them in that Community Shield. We got another piece of silverware for the trophy cabinet. And coming back into the Premier League this season was going to be Leeds United, Middlesbrough, and then I believe either Norwich or Southampton. I honestly can't remember from last season. But yeah, these are all of the teams that we're going to be playing in the Premier League this season. We're going to go ahead and get into our first game against Arsenal. But of course, before we can do that, we do have one thing we need to do, which is try to get rid of our last couple of players that we have transfer listed. So, of course, in the last episode, we lost Smith Rowe. Obviously, we didn't really want to lose him, but at this point in the career mode, without us having Champions League football and with him being so good, it just made sense for him to move on. So we brought in Eberechi Eze to be his replacement. 28 years old, still fairly young, still can get a few good years out of him if we need to. And we also brought in Tom Bischoff because we sent Joe Bellingham out on loan. Hopefully he can get some experience this year at Crystal Palace. And then we also let go of Pedro Neto and moved him on. He went to Arsenal for, I believe, about 56 million, something around there. Pedro Neto he's a good player, but I just didn't use him very well in this career mode, and I didn't really gel with him very much. So we're going to be moving on from him. We got Buonanotte out on that right wing. With Jansen, we got Mazilu, we got DaCosta as backups. DaCosta we're going to send out on loan, Mazilu probably on loan as well, but Jansen and Buonanotte are going to be our backups and starters for that right mid position. I think we're going to use Buonanotte, and I think he's going to be very good for us. And then on the left, Garnacho still hasn't left yet. We're planning on letting him go, but honestly, if no offers come in for him, I'm perfectly fine with keeping him. But if he does end up leaving, we've got a few players in mind that we could bring in to be his replacement. And so we'll go check those out in just a second. And then as well as Benjamin Sesko, he is likely going to be leaving us as well. Just again, far too good of a player to be playing just Europa League football at 23 years of age. So we're going to be moving him on as well, more than likely at some point. And we're going to be playing João Pedro. He's going to be our starter for this season. He's got a broken toe right now, but he's about to be fit here pretty soon. He might not be ready for the Arsenal game at the end of this week, but he'll be ready for the next week for sure. And so we need to bring in a backup. Once Sesko leaves, we're going to bring in another player, and we'll go ahead and go check out our options for transfers as of right now. We're only going to look at a couple of positions. Right back, Wan-Bissaka is a player that you guys mentioned, or Serginho Dest as well. Those are the two players I probably want to bring in at right back if Thierry Correa decides to leave. He did ask for a transfer at the end of last season, so we'll see if he ends up leaving. At left wing, we've got Mykhailo Mudryk. I thought about bringing in Matoma. There was a couple of people saying Matoma could be good. There's a couple of people saying Mudryk could be the move. My thing with Mudryk is that he is the exact same kind of player that we brought in. Very, very pacey player, very good with dribbling, but not great at passing and not great at shooting necessarily. So those are my only worries with him. But I am definitely intrigued by bringing him in, and he does play for Everton, and they got relegated last year. So we could pay 40 million for him, and he would be the player for the future. In real life, we probably wouldn't even have to pay that much for him, but you know how it goes sometimes. And then, obviously we still had Matoma as one of the options as well that I had mentioned I want to bring in, but we'll see how it goes. His shooting and passing is really not that much better than Mudryk, so. And then on the right, Cole Palmer is a player that was mentioned that I kind of would be interested in. I honestly would bring him in to be able to play at Cam, but of course we brought in Eze, so wouldn't make too much sense, but depending on how, things go, we'll see. We might bring in Palmer. And then, of course, at striker, we brought in some options as well to be on our short list. Ollie Watkins, he's been a fantastic player for Villa for 10 plus years at this point in this career mode. Could potentially bring him in. Alexander Lacazette, more than likely wouldn't bring him in, but he could be a pretty decent backup. He's got a lot of experience, of course, being at 35 years of age now. Guirassy from Stuttgart could be an interesting option. Anthony Martial, I think, would honestly probably be my preferred option at this point. He's got a lot of Premier League experience, clearly, and he's still only 30 years old, which isn't too bad. We could probably get another season or two out of him. Angel Correa as well. And we've had a few other options on the bench, or not on the bench, but on the short list as well. Eli Wahi, someone suggested him. He's just a little bit too good for us at this point. Let's go ahead and simulate a few days and see if we don't get any transfer offers. We do get an offer in here for Sesko, but that is from Wolfsburg, and they're not, they're not the best team in Germany. If it was Bayern or if it was Dortmund, I would consider it, but Wolfsburg, probably not. And we have now made it to match day. We only got that one offer for Sesko, and we didn't get any offers for Garnacho, so I mean, like I said, if Garnacho doesn't end up leaving, we won't force him to leave. And this is the lineup that we're going to be going with for our first game in the Premier League season this year. Sesko, Garnacho still getting the start. João Pedro's out. Bino Gittins would get the start on the left, but I mean, like I said, Garnacho is still going to be our main man. So really, the only changes we've made from last year are Eze through the middle at cam instead of Smith Rowe, and Buonanotte out on the right instead of Pedro Neto. So let's go ahead and get into this game. I will show you Arsenal's lineup whenever we get in, because they were starting a team that was just not quite as good as it should be. So I went in and made the changes that we needed to. Neymar is going to get the start on the left for them. Saka and Dybala up top as well. Brahim with Odegaard and Rice in the middle. Estepinian, Lenormand, Christensen, Mesraoui, and Ramsdale at the back. Of course, Estepinian, a former player of ours. And then, of course, they have Neto on the bench as well. Their bench is pretty solid, but their starting 11 is very, very good. So let's go ahead and get into this game, and let's try to find a way to get some points. Mesraoui out here to Saka. Saka, very hard to deal with at times. Kirkes does decently well. A pass back inside to Mesraoui, who's just holding off Diouf, and then an arid touch, a handball, and a bad shot that's going to lead to a goal kick. That was a cluster of a mess there. And somehow it ends up with them not scoring. So we'll take it. Dybala in the middle of the box. Rice now going for a shot. Verbruggen does have to make a save. They have been all over us these first 11 minutes. Buonanotte inside to Sesko. Sesko over here to Eze. Eze, oh my gosh, found a way to find the back of the net. 1-0 for Brighton Hove Albion after 18 minutes. I honestly did not think that was going to find the back of the net. I realized that I have Eze on captain right now. Didn't mean for that to happen either. But regardless, he's playing like a captain for us and gets a goal in his first Premier League game for us. And we take a 1-0 lead. Neymar now on the edge of the box. Going for a shot. A low shot. 5 minutes after we just scored. They get one back. Neymar Jr. playing for Arsenal. What a sight to see there. Now Kirkes sending the ball over the top. Oh, that was perfect for Andy Diouf. A little bit of a heavy touch. Diamande wins that one, but it's right at Saka. And it looks like we might actually get a free kick here. And we do, so we're going to go ahead and just hit this one up. Try to send it in the middle of the box. Garnacho gets to it. Ramsdale makes the save up and over the net, but we do get a corner here. 33 minutes gone. It's been a lot of action, a lot of back and forth. Two very evenly matched teams here. Arsenal maybe, a little bit better than us for sure, but Kirkes again, another good tackle, but Dybala making a tackle on him might have hurt Kirkes as well. Saka from the edge of the box going for a shot right at Verbruggen. Another corner for Arsenal, and we are getting suggested to substitute Kirkes, so we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to get Barco in. 43 minutes gone, having to make a sub before halftime. Eze over here to Garnacho. Garnacho, room to run. We're going to go ahead and knock this ahead of us if we can. I see someone towards the back post. Stopped kind of making their run. Garnacho is going to cut inside. Going to take it all the way himself. Got around Christensen. Pretty terrible defending there by the center back. Just before added time is up as well. So Garnacho making a name for himself, making a case for himself to, maybe make a move to a Champions League team. But if we can keep him and he can perform like this, we will gladly take that. They decide to put on a lot of pressure as well, and sometimes that allows you to get in behind. Garnacho pushing forward here. Just trying to get around this defender, but having a tough time doing it. Finds Sesko. He's going to find Getson Fernandez in a good spot on the edge of the box. Ramsdale has to palm that one up, but is able to collect it. 62 minutes gone. And now Neymar coming off for Pedro Neto. So now our former players, Pedro Neto and Purvis Estepinian, on that left side for Arsenal. Oh, and Neto winning the ball off of Getson Fernandez there, finding a pass to Dybala. Rice, oh, I don't like this position here at all. Rice taking a shot. Tavares now with it. Tavares taking a shot and leveling this game at 2 after 69 minutes. It is very hard to stop them, and it is very hard to break down their defense, but so far it's been a very good game. Eze finds, gets Fernandez. Fernandez over here to Diouf. Diouf finds some space, goes for a shot, and Ramsdale knocks that one over. And potentially a mistake by Ramsdale. Eze, oh man. Lenormand ends up with it. We're going to keep some pressure on here though. Eze finds Garnacho. Garnacho all by himself. I see someone on the other side. Buonanotte. Shoots it right at Ramsdale with an entire net open. 82 minutes gone. That is one of the best chances we've had all game to score. Eze looking out here for Garnacho. Garnacho going to take on Mazraoui, I believe. Oh, man. We are so close to scoring here. Basically 90 minutes gone now. We need a goal here if we are going to find a winner. I doubt there's going to be too much added time. Get some Fernandez. Almost got that one into the back of the net, but unfortunately, Ramsdale is able to collect. Buonanotte. Oh, I thought that was the winner. Man, Ramsdale was scurrying back like he was off his line or something. That's going to be a 2-2 draw here on opening day against Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium, so not the worst result, especially considering the fact that their team is stacked and ours is, not quite as stacked as that. So a pretty solid game, but of course, with a 1-goal lead, you always want to win, so unfortunate that we dropped points, but we'll take it. And we have now simulated an entire week over to our Newcastle game without getting an email from Benjamin Sesko or for Garnacho. So it's looking like, we might not move them on until the final day, which would be insane. Still not sure why Sesko's not getting more offers from bigger clubs, but this is going to be Newcastle's lineup for the game. They do have Aaron Wan-Bissaka, a player that we're potentially thinking about bringing in if Correa leaves. But as of right now, Correa is staying, so this is the lineup they're going to go with. Anthony Gordon, also a player that we could look into bringing in, but, taking players away from Newcastle is going to be tough. They are a very, very good side, so we're going to go with the exact same lineup as last game. They performed well, so we're going to give them the nod again. So let's go ahead and get into it. Takefusa Kubo on the edge of the box. Gave me the wrong defender. Verbruggen has to make the save. Correa just lets it go out of bounds as well, so Longstaff, what a pass. Oh, Ndicka was able to get back. Isak kind of let it run past him. Gordon able to get that one off of Thierry Correa, though. Ndicka moved out of the way. Oh, man. We are lucky Verbruggen is back there and able to make that save. Anthony Gordon with an incredible pass. Oh, Longstaff should have scored that one. Verbruggen is out of his mind right now with these saves. Gordon pushing forward again. Nice move. Gets around one defender. Verbruggen makes another save. Isak's going to knock that one out. We are very lucky not to concede so far in this game. 30 minutes gone, and Newcastle have quite literally been all over us. 5 shots. Seems like more than that. 65% possession. I don't know if we've been able to get past midfield at all. Eze out here to Buonanotte. A little bit of a heavy cross. Or a heavy pass. The right back was going nowhere near where he needed to. Sesko, please contain the ball. Grab control of it just for a moment so we can get a shot away. But tackled yet again. Eze finding a pass inside to Sesko. We're just going to get this one back out to Eze. Eze looking inside for Garnacho, who, is not able to get a shot away in time. Kepa honestly got his hand there before Garnacho went for the shot, but deflected away. Ooh, Andy Diouf with an excellent pass to Eze. Eze to Sesko. Is he onside? It doesn't matter. Kepa able to get his hand to that one. 60 minutes gone now. I mean, we should have had a goal there. And before we get this corner in, we are going to go ahead and make a couple of subs. Andy Diouf and Buonanotte coming off. Fabricio Diaz and Lenny Jansen coming in. Some of you guys think that Lenny Jansen, the way he looks, is a little funny. I honestly think it is funny as well, but I think it adds a little bit of character to this career mode. Garnacho from the edge of the box. Sesko. Man. We've had a couple of opportunities for some tap-ins in these past couple of games, but just can't capitalize. Fabricio Diaz finds Garnacho. Nice pass. Garnacho inside to Sesko. Sesko is going to get muscled off. And no way. Oh, it's going to be a free kick. I thought they were about to call a penalty on that. All right, we are just going to lay this one off to Kirkez. Not exactly the player we want. He hits the post, though. Our left back, with probably one of the first shots he's taken in this entire career mode, hits the post. 73 minutes gone. Lenny Jansen finding Getson Fernandez. Finds Eze. Can we get the pass off? Sesko is wide open in the middle here. The shot is just way too late. Trying to deal with it. Jansen ends up with it. Oh, man. We are this close. Takefusa Kubo down this right side. Nice move inside Ndicka. Oh my gosh. Of course that ball is going to end up with Alexander Isak, basically from the penalty spot. And Newcastle are going to steal this game more than likely. 1-0. 87 minutes gone. We're going to make a few more subs just for the hell of it. Bischoff coming on, Bino Gittins coming on, and Barco coming on as well. Tired legs around the pitch for our players. Sesko out here to Bischoff. Bischoff turning it around, finds Fernandez. They are playing the lowest of blocks that they possibly can. Nowhere to go. Fabricio Diaz now on the edge of the box. Gonna look out here for Bino Gittins. Who's gonna try to get around. He finds a way to end up with the ball. Wan-Bissaka, maybe we don't need to look at him as our right back. What a terrible play from him there. And Bino Gittins comes on and scores a goal immediately. And you can just see what it means to the crowd there as well. I mean, Bino Gittins, Wan-Bissaka, I mean, not a great effort, not a bad effort, I guess. Kepa really should have came out for that one once he saw that it was a heavy touch, and then just terrible goalkeeping there. Not a great shot by Bino Gittins either. Really, really bad play by Newcastle there. And the referee's going to blow his whistle off of that kickoff. That is the last kick of the game. We level the game after 93 minutes. Bino Gittins, what a player he has become. All right, and now we've made it to match day against Middlesbrough. Again, not a lot of offers, but we finally do get an offer for Benjamin Sesko. This time, a Premier League rival and Tottenham Hotspur coming in for him. It looks like we could get almost up to 180 million for Benjamin Sesko. And right now, Spurs are offering 141 million, and that is going to be very, very difficult to turn down. I don't really want to send him to a Premier League rival and a team that we're going to be playing a lot, but an offer like this is hard to refuse. We are going to go ahead and negotiate for a little bit more. We're probably going to try to get like 160 if we can at least. But, I mean, if we get that much, we have to sell into whoever comes in for him. It doesn't matter. All right, asking for 160. Let's see what they say. They say 141. 2% sell-on clause. So if they got to give us at least 150 for him. They can't just... I mean, the board is saying, or the scouts are saying, that we could get almost 180 million for him. We'll remove the sell-on clause just because that doesn't matter at this point. 149.9. I'm going to argue for the extra 100k. Hopefully that doesn't increase the tension, and they're going to say that that's a deal. 150 million euros for Benjamin Sesko. All right, and now we're going to get into this game against Middlesbrough. They're having a pretty good start to the season so far. 4 points already. Coming up from the championship, getting a win and a draw in their first 2 games is pretty good. We're going to go ahead and get into it. This is the lineup that Middlesbrough are going to be going with. Not familiar with their team at all. This is the first time in this career mode, I believe, that they've made it to the Premier League, which is incredible for them. But this is the lineup we're going to go with. Only one change for us, Fabricio Diaz in the midfield instead of Andy Diop. Benjamin Sesko is going to get the start in this game. João Pedro is still trying to work his way back from injury. We're going to probably bring him on at some point in this game, but for now we'll start Sesko, and it could be the final game for him of his Brighton career. But this time Eze is going to be able to find Garnacho, and he is in open space, and he's going to find that back right corner. Nothing the keeper could do there. And 7 minutes gone. This game could get out of hand. So far in the first 7 minutes, we have been in control of everything. Getson Fernandez finding Buonanotte through this time. Buonanotte, can he score his first goal of the season? 10 minutes gone, 2-0 already. It's looking like this is going to get out of hand. I mean, they've turned it over quite literally every time they touch the ball almost. We've capitalized on every mistake. So, 2-0 already. Eze over here to Fabricio Diaz. I see Garnacho yet again. Garnacho, Sesko's going to take a defender with him. Garnacho almost with another one. I mean, literally, it's only been 5 more minutes, and we are already pushing forward. Their defense is just falling apart almost immediately every time they get the ball. Or every time we get the ball, excuse me. Getson Fernandez. Going to look for Eze on the edge of the box. Eze! Oof. Eze inside to Getson Fernandez. Fernandez over here to Eze. Eze waiting for Garnacho. Garnacho going to go ahead and go for a shot. Garnacho's got an eye for the goal in this game right now. 45 minutes gone. This will be the end of the first half pretty much. Eze's going to swing this one in. Sesko up for it. Off the crossbar. How many times have we done that from headers inside the box? Off of corners. Garnacho again. And then Buonanotte running past it. This is going to be the end of the first half. Eze taking the ball off of this defender here who was just quite literally running forward at him. Eze is going to go across goal. Sesko just didn't want to go hit the ball. Did not want to show that he is worth 150 million. I mean, seriously, he waited until the last second to hit that. What a save from the defender. Ooh, and a nice little triangle movement there from the players for Middlesbrough. They're going to cut back inside. Look for Ignacio on the edge of the box. On the edge of the box. Gets a shot away. Verbruggen does have to make a save. 60 minutes gone. That was their second attempt at the game, and it was almost a good one. But they take this corner short, and we foul him on the edge of the box. Please tell me it was on the edge of the box and not inside the box. I think it's going to be a free kick. Okay, we are very lucky that that is not a penalty. It looked like he was way more inside. Oh, and we barely deal with that as well. We have not been very good at dealing with crosses into the box. But Thierry Correa isn't able to get that tackle in. Engel inside to Rogers, Diamande. Oh, Verbruggen knocks it off the post. Let's try to get Bino Gittins or João Pedro a goal. João Pedro sending Bino Gittins through. Very heavy touch. Is able to get past the defender still. Finds a pass inside to Bischoff. Can't find the back of the net. We're going to go for a shot. 3 minutes of added time. It looks like we're going to have a corner here. And the referee is going to go ahead and blow his whistle. 93 minutes gone. Full time. A 2-0 win here over Middlesbrough. A very, very deserving result for us. Should have been much, much worse than that. As you can see, we had 14 shots with 4.2 expected goals. So hats off to their keeper for keeping them in that game for as long as he did. But just not a great effort by Middlesbrough attacking-wise that game. And now just a couple of days until the transfer window. The summer transfer window is over. And Benjamin Sesko walking out of the facility for the very last time as a Brighton and Hove Albion player. 150 million for him to head on to Tottenham Hotspur. So not going far, just going down the road. Still staying in England. It looks like we could have got way more for him apparently, but 150 million is hard to turn down. And I feel like that's a pretty realistic deal. So Benjamin Sesko, no longer a Brighton and Hove Albion player. And that leaves us with 545 million in the budget. With the sales of Smith Rowe, Neto, and Sesko this year, we've made over 300 million. So we could easily bring in friggin' Erling Haaland or Mbappe if we wanted to. But of course, we're not going to do that. We want to keep this as realistic as we possibly can. So now the decision to be made is a striker that we should bring in. Again, still no offers for Garnacho, so we'll see how that goes on this final deadline day of the transfer window. But we have a lot of options here. I'm going to go ahead and take some options off. Lacazette, just not going to do it. The pace is just not there for him. I don't want to bring someone in that's not going to be able to move with the ball. Eli Wahi, just a little bit too good for our team as of right now. Guirassy, again, just not quite enough pace. I'm not sure if that's how you say his name, but just not quite enough pace for me. I like to have my strikers with at least a little bit of pace so that if we get on a break that they can make it past everyone. So right now, these are really the options I'm looking at. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Anthony Martial, or Ollie Watkins, all with Premier League experience, so it's not an unrealistic move. Angel Correa, probably not going to bring him in either. So yeah, those are the three options I'm really looking at. So it's an interesting decision that has to be made. I mean, each player has their different perks. The one player that I'm really looking forward to bringing in is Anthony Martial. It'd be between him and Ollie Watkins. And it's a tough decision, but I'm going to go ahead and go in with an offer for Anthony Martial. 30 years old, 80 overall. I would say we could get him for 20 million. We're going to go ahead and offer 20 million to them. And they're going to say that we've wasted our time. So it's looking like Anthony Martial is not going to be an option for us. Wow. All right. Well, I really wasn't expecting that. I mean, he was definitely my preferred player. His dribbling is also very good, but we are on deadline day, which means it's going to take us at least another week to get him. So it's either bringing in Ollie Watkins or Dominic Calvert-Lewin, or stick with the squad that we have, which is also another option that I've thought about. Obviously, like I said in the last episode, we've got Jansen. He can play a striker if we need him to, as well as right wing. His striking and shooting stats really aren't that bad. João Pedro's shooting is only a 78 and Jansen's is a 74, so it wouldn't be too much of a downgrade. I mean, Garnacho's probably got the best shooting on the team, honestly. And we still got a player down here, like I said in the last episode, a young man that we've brought up from the youth academy, Caio Miranda from Brazil, 18 years old, 70 overall, but that doesn't tell the full story about him. His pace, shooting, and dribbling, and also his passing are basically on par with some of those players that are up closer to that 80 overall range. Obviously, the problem with him is that his mental attributes just aren't great, and some of his physicals are still lacking behind, as well as some of his technicals. But, I mean, you look at these stats and think he could do a pretty decent job as a striker or as a winger. 85 long shots, 71 finishing, 73 free kick accuracy. 81 shot power, good ball control, good dribbling. I honestly think we could use him as a backup striker, and I don't know if we need to necessarily bring anybody in. And between Anthony Martial, Ollie Watkins, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I really wanted Anthony Martial, and I don't necessarily really care to bring in either of the other two. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to recall Kai Miranda from loan for 52,000, not a lot, and he's up to a 71 overall as well. Now that we bring him back, it looks like that gave him a boost in some of his attributes. 87 long shots. So we're going to go ahead and put him on a development plan to try and increase his attributes. Obviously, it says 17 weeks up there. I'm hoping that the dynamic potential kicks in, and that starts growing quickly. Attacking positioning and composure is what we really needed to get up. Obviously, 54 composure for a striker is not great, so if he's under pressure, he's likely not going to score, but 71 overall, 18 years old. I mean, he's about where João Pedro was whenever this career mode first started, so I'm not afraid to use him as our backup. And obviously, if we do this for, 3-4 months until the January transfer window, if things aren't working out, then we could easily send him on loan again as we get an offer for him from Inter Milan. So obviously, he's a good player when a team like that is coming in for him. And yeah, if we don't like him for the first few months, after the first few months, we could always just buy Anthony Martial in the January transfer window. So I think that's going to be the plan for now. Another offer in for Kyle Miranda. I'm going to go ahead and call him Chow for the rest of the career mode, just because I feel like that's probably how you would say it. So Kyle Miranda still here, getting offers for him, but we're not getting any offers for Garnacho. So still no way to bring in another left winger as of now, with Garnacho still on the team. And now only 2 hours left, still no offers for him. We're going to simulate, and I don't think we're going to get any offers for him, and even if we did, it's not going to matter. So 1 hour left. We're going to simulate. We don't need to make any moves. I think the team that we have right now is a solid enough team to move forward. And if we need to bring anybody back from loan, we can do that as well. So it looks like Garnacho is going to be sticking with the squad for this season, potentially going to move on in the January transfer window. We'll see. But this is the squad we're going to be going with. Mauricio Diaz and Andy Diop going to keep fighting for that midfield spot. But besides that, this team is pretty much set in stone, and it is a very solid team. And I really like this team, honestly. So I know you guys may be disappointed we didn't get to bring in anybody for Garnacho. And I mean, it's hard to be disappointed about it. Keeping a player like Garnacho is insane. But we have one more game in this episode that we're going to play. We're going to go ahead and finish out this Brentford game to get through 4 games in the Premier League. This is where we are sitting at as of right now, 12th place, but a lot of teams have played their 4th game. Obviously, we have a game in hand on them. So if we win this game, we'll be sitting on 8 points and could potentially be in 4th place. And I think this is the lineup I'm going to go with in this game. Lenny Jansen going to get the start at right wing instead of Buonanotte. Buonanotte's played fine, but I just want to get Jansen out there to see how he performs as well. And we're going to get João Miranda on the bench so that he can get maybe some game time at some point in this game. Brentford are, obviously a little bit lower level of a side. I think they're actually a rival of Brighton's as well in real life. So this is a big game for us coming up. Brentford on 4 points already. And this is the team that they are going to be going with. Again, not familiar with several of these players, but David Raya in goal is always going to give us trouble. And I actually went ahead and went into their team just to make sure that they're playing their best team, and they weren't playing anywhere close to their best team. So this is the lineup that they're going to be going with. I don't know if FIFA is ever going to fix this, or if FC or EA are ever going to fix this, but most of the time I find that the opposing team's players are just not actually their best players. And a team like Brentford has no excuse for not playing their best players. It's not like they're in European competitions or anything. So, I mean, they've got a lot of players on their team, and a lot of them were the lower level ones. Like Young Combs was their starting striker against us, according to, the beginning. And he's like their 4th choice striker. So that just doesn't make any sense. So we got their best team in there now, and we're going to go with that. And now they are immediately back on a counterattack. Terrible defense by me. Okafor with a shot for Bruggen, another save. 15 minutes gone. It's looking like Brentford have been the better side so far in this game. They swing that corner in, and we deal with it momentarily, but they now have it in a dangerous area in the box. Ooh, Okafor with a terrible shot. Easily could have been 1-0 there. Shade going for a cross. A very good cross. Not dealing with it well at all. Oh, they're going to end up with a goal. Kirkes. Yes. Oh, I was spamming B to clear it out, and no one would do it. And Garnacho's going to touch that one down, and he's going to be off on a run here. Please tell me he's got more pace than that defender. It looks like he does. But we get shut down. Looking for João Pedro. Probably should have just gone for a shot with Garnacho, but I just didn't feel like it was the right time. Garnacho, though, now on the edge of the box, going for a shot. A worldie from Garnacho. 45 minutes into this game, we take a 1-0 lead, thanks to that beautiful goal. And I'm starting to think it was a pretty good thing that Garnacho didn't leave. I mean, we have only had him since the January transfer window of last season. So it kind of made sense for him to stick around. And I mean, even though he is an insanely good player and starting to be a very high overall player, he didn't really necessarily prove a whole lot this past season in his 6 months with us. I'm pretty sure he's already got the same amount of goals this season as he did with us all of last season as well. So, but that's going to be won back immediately before halftime. So we need to work on some things in defense for sure. Okafor again. Oh, 52 minutes gone. 2-1 lead for Brentford. This is not going well in the last, 5 minutes. Terrible pass there. Getson Fernandez over here to João Pedro. Very tough angle to try to find that one in. Could have let it go out for a corner, but Jansen leaves it in. Oh, that is not who I wanted that to go to at all. Yeah, now pushing forward. No way he gets that pass through. Okafor hits that one off the side netting. 75 minutes gone. We're still down 2-1. We need to get 2 goals. Dropping points in this game is pretty much unacceptable, to be honest. João Pedro with a nice pass out here to Lenny Jansen, who's going to cut inside. Look for Eze. Eze's got to be onside there. Yes, he is. 77 minutes gone. Jansen with a nice assist there to Eberici Eze at the last moment. I thought he was going to be offsides. There's plenty of time to get another goal in this game. It's also plenty of time to give up another goal, so hopefully that doesn't happen. Okafor, no way that goes in the back of the net. Of all shots they have taken this game, that one is right at Verbruggen. 85 minutes gone. Brentford take a 3-2 lead. This is ridiculous. The Verbruggen has not saved this. That is nowhere near the corner. That is right almost in the middle of the back of the net. And 3-2 Brentford, of course, after 85 minutes. And we lose this game 3-2 to Brentford. What a terrible, terrible loss that is. Verbruggen might not start next game because of that. Okafor with a hat trick. That third goal was so bad. So, yeah, Verbruggen, I mean, he's been playing so good so far this season, and that goal just really pissed me off, so he might not start next game. 5 points through 4 games is just not acceptable for at this point in the career mode. And with how good this team is, just not acceptable. I mean, I know we've lost some players, but we're still a good side. Dropping 7 points through the first 4 games is it's just ridiculous. So that's where we're going to leave it off. There's an international break right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. In the next episode, we will be getting through the month of September, into the month of October already. And as you can see, we've got some Europa League games coming up, so we're going to be in that. Porto is the first team we get to play in the Europa League, so that's going to be very, very interesting. I don't think I recognize the other 2 teams in our group, so let's go ahead and take a look at that before we end off the episode. In the Europa League, we will be playing St. Pat's and Midtjylland. I'm not sure how to say that. Not even going to try at this point. So that's going to be our group. The other groups in the Europa League go as follows. I'll go ahead and just kind of scroll through them. That group looks pretty tough. That group looks pretty tough as well. Ours might not be that bad. I think the bottom 2 teams in our group, St. Pat's and the other one, a little bit easier opponents. But of course, as we found last year in the Europa League, it's never necessarily an easy game. So Newcastle in Group D as well. That group looks a little tough. That one's okay. That one looks pretty decent as well. Anderlecht is definitely a team that would give some problems to Fiorentina or Wolfsburg sometimes. And then Napoli might be the front runners to win this thing. This back there in the Europa League is kind of tough, but they did finish 6th last year in the Italian league. So, but anyways, hope you guys are glad we're back with the Brighton Career Mode Season 4. I know some of you guys are going to be disappointed we didn't bring in Mudryk, but you know, Garnacho staying here kind of makes sense. Like I said, he's only been here for 6 months, or for I guess 9 months now at this point. So, letting him go that quickly might not have made a whole lot of sense. So I'm happy to keep him, and I hope you guys are. He could be our best player this year by far. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please be sure to like the video. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.